That's when we go to the Mandy stuff.
Yeah, Greg and I, we were, let's see, Greg was entertaining, he was funny. He tried to be a wannabe mean big brother, but it never worked out. We always try to do things, like he would be like, okay, let's go do this. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, okay, so let's ride our bikes to this place in Benjamin Hills. All right, so I'd go with him. He'd be like, okay, now let's hop this fence and dig up those irises. No, we can't, we'll get in trouble for that. So he was always trying to get me to do things that I thought was wrong, and I'd be like, no, no, no. And I'd be like, oh, come on, I'd do it anyway. It'd always work out fine. But then the funny thing is, Greg and I are a year apart in age, pretty much like 13 months. Greg had a dog named Roscoe, a yellow lab, and I had a dog named Earl. And his dog was a boy, mine was a girl. They were about a year apart in age. And my dog, in my opinion, was the perfect dog. She never got in trouble, she didn't dig, she didn't get out. And then Greg came to live with me for a little bit and brought Roscoe, and Roscoe taught my dog how to dig out of the yard. And we actually watched this happen. Like,
so it was almost like Greg and Mandy revisited.
Exactly, because they'd go to the front, and Roscoe would keep going down the street, but Earl would stop and stay on the porch, kind of like, no, no, we can't do that now. Like, now that we're out, we can't do it. So it was like Greg and Mandy dog version. Like, it was exactly like this. Greg and I, we were two peas in a pod. We did everything.
TG and Watt.
Yeah, we were.
TG and Watt.
We went everywhere, we did everything, and we were like day and night, because he was all tall and towhead and fair skin, and I was short and with dark hair and dark skin, and we're buds. We woke up at Christmas time together. We played soap opera Barbies.
Did you play soap opera Barbies?
We watched General Hospital during the summertime with Monica, and so we would.
I didn't know that.
He would. It was always either like I would play Cowboys and Indians with him outside, and then he had to play Barbies with me. And so when we do Cowboys and Indians, it was still fun. Like we make fortresses, and we would take dead limbs and they turn into trees. It was really cool. I was like, oh my god, the tree's still there. And then he would play soap opera Barbie with me, and like he'd be Ken doll, and I'd walk up my Barbie and I'd be like, you cheated on me, and I'd slap Ken doll, and then like the car would crash down the stairs, and he'd always say, somebody cut the brake lines in the car.
Like the Corvette.
But then
Corvette
I remember that little Corvette.
Yeah. Then we put the Barbies naked. Yeah, and then like mom or dad like walked in, and they're like, yeah, man, it's Greg, and I'm like, nothing. And then Barbies are like covered up with a blanket.
Greg wanted a broken arm so bad that he was throwing her stuff down the stairs.
Well, he paid me. You know how you finally end up with the sling, don't you? Well,
was it the car wreck?
Well, no. When Greg couldn't break his own arm, then he would pay me $1 to push him down the stairs.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know this? Yeah. So Greg and I were home by ourselves one night, and he put his arms out straight, and he's like, "I'll give you $1 if you push me down the stairs." Of course, me, no, I don't think so. I'll give you. No, seriously, I'll take the blame. Okay. And then I'd be like, and I'd push him, and he got a blood clot. We had to call Dad to the liquor store.
It wasn't broke. I was mad.
Yeah. Yeah, he was so mad that it wasn't broken. He was pissed.
But it was a nasty little blood clot. I remember that.
But Dad got so mad at us. How'd you do this? Fall down the stairs. How'd you fall down? Mandy pushed me down the stairs, but I told him to push me down the stairs. Yeah, we both got grounded.
So Dad was mean and Dad was horrible. Yes. We don't really have to visit on that. Yeah. But did Greg run interference or try to help out on that? Was he someone that would try to take the wrath of Father, or did Father spread it to each of you evenly?
I would say Father spread it to everybody, but our dad is really good about making sure that nobody else was around. So if Greg was getting in trouble, I wasn't really around. If I got in trouble,
Greg really wasn't around?
Greg wasn't really around, because when Greg would come home and find out that something had happened, then he was pissed. But, you know, you're going up against your dad, everybody was scared and nervous, so, and then kind of same thing, I'd find out something happened to Greg, or, you know, it was just kind of, yeah. I mean, I think Dad just made sure.
Well, then Mom really wasn't our confidant like she should have been.
No.
Like the time he was being made fun of at school, because he was smaller than everybody else, he was afraid that he had a small penis, and so he told Mom that the boys were making fun of him because he had a smaller penis. Well, he just hadn't reached that puberty piece, right? And so he was trying to confide in Mom, and all of a sudden she's down on our level, yells up all the way up our stairs and then their stairs, Carl, Greg's got a small penis and he's worried about it. And so we could never, ever confide in her because she would just like, whomp. And then his mode of trying to organize everything and try to make us feel better was so fucked up that
and then Mom,
it never made us feel better.
Yeah, and Mom was just kind of aloof about stuff. I mean, we went water skiing and the ropes caught around my legs and so it was dragging me under. And Greg's like, Mom, Dad, and she just kind of, I mean, from what Greg told me, she was like looking at Greg like hearing something's wrong, but it just wasn't.
She couldn't translate it.
Yeah,
push it out.
Yeah, so finally,
jumped off the boat.
I mean, Greg jumped off the boat to save me, and then finally it was kind of like, oh, gee, where'd Greg go? Oh, look, Mandy's under the water.
Dad's got a full blasted still. Mandy's getting drug out.
That houseboat thing?
It was a speedboat, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, yeah, Greg was always, he was always trying to somehow, I mean, make things better so we didn't, you know. I always felt like he was kind of more my protector.